Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming. My name is Hollow and today I've got something a little different for you. This is our first real discussion video for the game. You see, we normally make these types of things on current topics like when we cover Monster Hunter, but we're finally going to try it in Elden Ring. Now, as you may have guessed from the title, I'm asking a simple question today. Is PvP broken in Elden Ring? To say the least, Elden Ring is a bit of a broken game. At least at its release, it certainly was. Things like Arcane weren't working for the first 3 weeks. The hilarious auto-turret shield glitch, the death passive kill with the Eclipse Shotel. These are obvious examples of things that were broken, but hey, have now been fixed. So we're all good now, right? Well, maybe not. We could reference the PvE side of things with the whole moveset swap using the Warcry Ash of War, which lets you absolutely destroy bosses, perfect for speedrunning, but certainly not intended and surely won't last. Then we have the more legit examples of what we'd rather call a bit overpowered or maybe too strong, like the most popular weapon in PvP since the patch, the Rivers of Blood Katana, purely for its insane Ash of War, the Corpse Piler. This damage, the bleed build-up, the range of it, the length of the combo itself. It's a bit strong in a lot of places, so yeah, a lot of people are using it. To the point where now people are mad how commonly it's used and how popular it is. If you want another example of something OP in this game right now, just bleed as a status is rather strong in both PvE and PvP. But the thing is, honestly, in my experience, the Souls series has always had these crazy builds and the rather OP options, the obvious meta picks alongside the broken mechanics that shouldn't work how they do right now. With a game like Elden Ring being just as big as it actually is, coming from things like the armor set unique effects or talismans, there is a lot, which probably makes it really hard to prevent the player base from finding some kind of trick or exploit, or being able to balance the weapons all fairly in some viable way. Or in plenty of cases, there are weapons that are way too weak. So I think it's not exactly an easy task to manage all of that, so it does make PvP a bit all over the place. Sometimes you just load in and there's 3 dudes holding Malenius Blade and you know you're about to die to some L2 spam or whatever, the 400th guy using Rivers of Blood in your duels today. Does this mean Elden Ring's PvP is broken, that it's too imbalanced and bursty, or broken literally with glitches? I think my answer to this is yes and no. Yes, there are things that are broken. Yes, there are things that are too strong and therefore they're going to be very commonly used, but is it broken in a way that ruins the fun? I don't think so. I would argue this is the most fun I've had in Souls series PvP ever. Most of my PvP days were in Dark Souls 3 with a good amount in 1 and 2. I never actually tried Bloodborne PvP, but I would say throughout all of that time in PvP, half of it was in Dark Souls 3. And a big part of that game was the sheer variety of the builds and options and the potential of it all. I literally had all of my save slots used for a different build set for PvP with a different playstyle. I was really into that. Elden Ring's just that, but more. And then we also have respecking now, which is wonderful. And like I said, harder to balance because of that. What's really interesting about that to me is actually, I think that that's what makes it so good. The fact that it's harder to manage and balance. If you think about it, Arcane wasn't working for those weeks, right? And now it is. So for those 3 weeks, we're literally missing all of the weapons that are now meta. Suddenly they're relevant. And what it did was change what we would commonly see in your fights and sort of injected this freshness to it. Along with that, magic had changes, certain weapons were nerfed, some were improved. The core of the game changed in a way, and that's going to happen again when what's currently a bit too strong does get nerfed, and hopefully we see other weapons be buffed and be brought into the limelight. I think as long as you have something strong in your kit and can pull it out when you need to, when you see that guy using the OP thing, it's still very fun. I'm currently working on a best faith weapons build, and I've found up to 15 really solid faith weapons, more than any other category stat type that I've been looking into so far. And importantly with that, a ridiculous amount of faith weapons that are just terrible, that there's barely any reason to use them, or worse, that simply do not work as they should. So that's exciting to me. We have all of these options, a current meta and a meta that's going to shift and change as players continue to find really strong stuff and things are balanced and updates happen. So while I think, yeah, Elden Ring's PvP is a bit jank and broken at the best of times, I would argue that that's a really good thing and will result in better long-term life for the meta because of the regular shifts. I think this is the most fun it's ever been and I'm really enjoying it, so I'm interested to hear your thoughts about this. It's a big topic and I know my perspective isn't going to align with everyone's, right? But I want to know what you think. Speaking of asking someone else's opinion, let's do that. Why don't we ask this random citizen? Hello, random citizen, how's it going?
Hi, it's me, random citizen.
Why aren't you looking at me, random citizen?
I can't turn left.
Why?
Wait.
You turn right. Oh, okay.
Okay. There we go.
No, you've got to do it again. I've moved. Whoa. You turned left. You turned left. So what I want to ask you is, are you enjoying PvP?
Well, the one thing I want to ask first before I answer that question is, was it like this in the old Souls? Like, I can't remember. Like, I've spent about 50 hours in Dark Souls 3 PvPing, but I genuinely cannot remember if it was gimmick spam battles.
Everyone had a build. There was a meta that everyone used this weapon or played this way, but it did feel like you weren't getting one shot nearly as much.
Well, I think the shift is in the old games you were choosing a weapon for its moveset.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
And the weapon, whereas in this game you're finding the best spell, Ashes of War, etc., and then focusing around killing people by just spamming that ability, as opposed to just hitting them with R1s until they die, which I guess isn't inherently better or worse, but the main issue is damage is too damn high.
We definitely shouldn't get into it right now, but there's a whole discussion around whether you should be 125 so that there's less potential for that kind of burst, or you should be 150 so you can survive the burst, and then that allows for, you know, more builds. And it's this whole thing of whether that'll work and whether
clearly it's 125, but you have to put 60 points into vigor.
Do you think Ashes of War are too strong? It gives everyone the ability to use magic.
I don't think they're too strong mechanically. I just think the pure numbers on them. Like, you should never win a fight by successfully landing one ability.
Exactly. It's literally, I've caught you out with my L2. Looks like you're dead now.
Literally, that's all. It like
that is what it is. Yeah.
It's so weird because there is genuine variety, I would say, in the sense
more
that
than ever,
probably five to 10 really strong builds, but essentially all of them are who's gonna land my one kill first.
Or, you know, maybe you survive and now you're on 10 health, so they get to just run up on you, and the moment you try to heal,
enough, then you just get sprinted at, and it's so hard to come back from that.
But why I started with, do you find it fun, was because I'm not asking you whether it's balanced or fair or what your thoughts on burst are. Are you enjoying PvP generally?
When I win.
Wow, okay. I loaded into a run when I was doing a build the other day, and I walked into 3 Millennia sword users, and you never guess what happened to me.
That's quite funny, though. Invading is better in this system because you're more likely to win a 1v3 with ridiculous bullshit
because you can
than you are
shot
just
them
having
as
to
well.
slowly stab exactly.
If everything's OP, it works.
It is infinitely better to balance the game around everything being ridiculous than it is about everything just being kind of okay. And it's impossible to not bring up the Dota comparison, because that's like
exactly
I'd say the paragon of that balance style. You can either have every attack and ability feel ridiculous, or you can have every attack and ability feel like a wet noodle.
Yeah.
And I'd much rather fight ridiculous than fight wet noodle.
It's just fun, and I described us as anime characters now in a positive way. And as I said earlier, it's really like, yes, all these things exist. Yeah, there's irritating parts of it, but I do feel like I'm having the most fun in PvP than I've ever had. The last thing I want to ask you about is what happens, how do you feel when you load in and you see the guy doing the exploit?
Well, there's 2 reactions. There's the reaction when you don't know what's happening, which is, what the fuck? And then you just sit left sad and confused. And then when you do know what's happening, there's...
yeah, here we go again.
And you either like, I guess I'll try and beat it, or I'll just disconnect.
Yeah.
Because like, what's... And the thing, somebody kills you with a literal exploit, a bug, invisible 5k
Swords,
damage, one-shot daggers, and then they run over and do the point in the ground.
Yeah, and then they
it's like,
teabag you.
Congratulations!
The only time that I'm like, oh, I'm going to teabag that guy is because I beat the cheesing exploit user. That's the only time.
Right.
But to do it to someone that, I don't know who these people are that do it.
Oh, you loaded an invasion and there is multiple enemies
doing
simultaneously.
I get it's funny for about 10 minutes, but what? Never again after that point. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting talk. I'm interested to see what you guys think. Hopefully we get some good discussion. Please, for the love of God, if you have a different opinion to someone else, don't go crazy with it. My R1's better. All right, relax. That was an L2, bro. I said R1.
Oh, sorry.
See, that's fine.
TLDR, everything's overpowered, so nothing is. It's really fun. Everything does too much damage.
Yes, there it is. There it is. Let us know your thoughts. We're looking forward to hearing them. If you want to see more videos like this, please drop a like so we know to do more discussions like this. It's been pretty fun. And yeah, enjoy Elden Ring. We'll see you next time.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.